We are told that Erika Franzwey was raised by a strong, independent, entrepreneurial, single mother who taught her how to be a good Christian, devout Catholic mother. She's been married 4 times that I can see. We'll talk about that more down the line. More importantly, though, you will recall that Erika sat down for an in-person interview with the New York Times days after Charlie was publicly assassinated, and she confirmed to them that the least traumatizing part about Charlie's assassination was the prospect of her now having to raise her children alone, because she had seen the example set for her by her mother growing up. The only problem is that it's just not true. Erika's father, Kent Franzwey, by the way, he's Kenneth Franzwey, but he goes by Kent, was always in her life. So much so that for entire years of her childhood, Kent was actually a stay-at-home dad.
My dad was a stay-at-home dad for a few years, and I gotta say it was really sweet and really special. I was 4, but...
To be clear, Erika was 10 years old when her parents divorced in 1998, so her father was very much a part of her early childhood, and he did not stop being involved in her teenage years either. I've spoken with classmates, past boyfriends, and people are generally bewildered as to why Erika is now publicly representing as though she does not have a relationship with Kent, the man that she claims is her father at least. Or also something she fails to mention is that even if you removed Kent, Erika was raised with her stepfather in her home, a man named Larry Ginta. In her high school yearbook, actually, Kent is included, her father, biological father, in a collage, and so are his parents, her grandparents, Carl and Elaine, so we can reasonably assume that her father was in her life. We can also assume from that photo that Erika was exceedingly close to her stepfather, too. He's featured there, too. You've got Larry in the photo, because he has been a fixture in her life since before her parents' divorce was ever finalized, because both he and his son are also in the collage. I confirmed with classmates Larry and Lori were together since Erika's elementary school days. In other words, Erika grew up in a situation that is now termed as a bonus dad. Both her biological father and her stepfather figure were present. I would be super offended if I was a stay-at-home dad, and then suddenly you've got someone saying, I'm just all alone, my mom did it all by herself. Now, you will see throughout this investigation that there are a lot of little wrinkles like this in Erika's story. The question is, what broader purpose do they serve?
We have a kid to hide.
It struck me as odd when you said in that interview with Jesse Waters that you wanted Charlie to have a good night's sleep. I was so excited. So you sent him to sleep in his daughter's room. You know, it just registered me as a little bit backwards. I wanted my husband...
This is my husband.
I wanted my husband to have a good night's sleep because of something he had the next day. I probably would let him sleep in the room, and I would sleep in my daughter's room. Flag that.
Meanwhile...
I just thought... just anecdotally, my husband and I, we had a baby nurse. She came in, she walked in a mask, and we said, oh, you don't have to wear that. And she said, no, I choose to wear this. I just thought to myself, my infant child is going to look up in the middle of the night. Infant child is going to look up in the middle of the night and see a person wearing a mask that they don't recognize, and we just, goodbye, we don't need you in this house.
God have mercy upon us.
Since we are being open, I also want you to know that Erika Kirk was not with her mother on September 10th. I will state that. I do not believe that Erika Kirk was with Lori Franzwey on September 10th. I have now made a pretty big discovery. I will say allegedly, because you're supposed to say allegedly. This is a pretty strong series of tips that I received.
Again!
That Erika was with a woman named Tracy Martin. Now, she might be familiar to some of you guys who are in Arizona.
I feel a little bad. I feel like we bullied this poor girl. This poor girl just wanted to start a shamanistic witch hunt against Turning Point USA, and everyone called her stupid, and now she's like...
I'm interested in knowing more about Tracy Martin, so I will leave that there. We'll have a lot more for you on that and where the story is going and what else I know about that day, which leads me to believe justice for Gigi. They keep dragging this poor toddler into every possible alibi regarding Eric Kirk. And I'm not going to stand for this much longer, okay? We're out here treating Gigi like Puerto Rican moms treat their daughters. A picture of Erika and Charlie on their wedding day, which Charlie had in his home office, that suddenly went missing after his death. Well, a Turning Point USA spokesperson told Newsweek Erika moved it to a lower shelf when her daughter asked to see it so that she could hold and look at the photo. Leave Gigi alone. Obviously, that did not happen because it makes no sense.
We have nothing to hide. Never will have anything to hide.
Remember, Gigi kicked Charlie out of the bed the night before because she was doing gymnastics. Gigi wanted to move that photo to eye level, so they had to move it. Gigi wanted to go for a walk, so Erika couldn't have been at some fort in Huachuca.
You just let the Lord do the rest. But I'm not going to sit and judge how anyone interpreted anything outside of myself.
And even though they are lying about Gigi, I'm feeling now like I gotta start, it struck me as odd when you said in that interview with Jesse Waters that you wanted Charlie to have a good night's sleep. I'm so excited. So you sent him to sleep in his daughter's room. So it just registered me as a little bit backwards. I wanted my husband.
But this is my husband.
I wanted my husband to have a good night's sleep because of something he had the next day. I'd probably let him sleep in the room, and I would sleep in my daughter's room. Flag that.
Meanwhile,
I just thought, just anecdotally, my husband and I, we had a baby nurse. She came in, she walked in a mask, and we said, oh, you don't have to wear that. And she said, no, I choose to wear this. I just thought to myself, my infant child is going to look up in the middle of the night. Infant child is going to look up in the middle of the night and see a person wearing a mask they don't recognize, and we goodbye, we don't need you in this house.
God have mercy upon us.
Since we are being open, I also want you to know that
Was it after that? That's when you started pageants? Or when did that come about?
Right. So the pageant world to me is something that it was an interesting season of life. It was nothing that I was ever groomed for. It was nothing that was ever on my radar. I wanted to play professional basketball.
Tomboy.
That was my thing. I remember getting something in the mail when I had come home from school one summer, and it was like, hey, you should compete at Miss Arizona USA. Someone nominated you. And I was like, I don't know who would nominate me for that, but okay. So the pageant world for me was something that was not a form of narcissism. It was more along the terms of being a steward for my state, especially as it hit our 100th year celebration.
Yeah, that's not right. That's not true. Erika has been involved in pageants from the very beginning. Her mother is definitely the person who pushed that. I actually do believe that Erika loved basketball. There's no question she plays basketball. But this idea that she didn't want it is just not true. It's so objectively not true. Erika, without question, and anybody who's being objective and honest and looking at her history of the people that she dated and the people that she wanted to be in close proximity to, can guarantee you that this girl wanted to be famous, like very badly wanted to be famous one way or the other. And one of her exes was very clear. He said to me, I was warned by another person in the beauty pageant world that girl will do anything to get to the top, and her mother will do anything to help her get to the top. Her mother herself, Lori, was a model, actually, at one point. So that hunger for Erika to get to the top, there is a connection just based on discussions I have had with multiple people to her mother. Erika is, without question, a climber, okay? She is also, without question, willing to lie to make her mother look better. I mean, to say I grew up with a single mother is not true. So why is she saying it? Well, people suspect probably Lori is the person in her ear getting her to say that because it makes Lori look good. She wanted Erika to be famous, but let's not remove Erika from this. Erika desperately wanted to be famous. No one can deny that. Tomorrow, when we now begin in earnest to go through Erika's life, you will see she's never dated a normal guy. She's never dated a guy with a 9-to-5 job. And that's what Elizabeth Lane was hitting at when she was speaking about going through her exes. You can see like she was going to be with somebody. She was, okay, you're going to the NFL, you're going to the MLB, we can be on the Amazing Race together. You will see very clearly she is not dating a regular guy ever, okay? Her goal was to make it.
We have nothing to hide.